thank you for your warm welcome. And don't you think I picked a great guy to be my running mate? Now, I knew I was going to come here, and the true governor was just going to speak an extraordinary address as he did, but I didn't realize he was going to wear the brightest green I've ever seen. This guy is a standout of governors across the country. Just stand on the stage. You got a great governor, and you got to make sure he keeps on moving. And get Judge Mandel to help us in Washington as well. You know, I happen to hear this faint sound in the distance. You may hear it actually reminds me a bit of the president's address 4 years ago speaking to the convention in Denver, because, you know, he's speaking in front of those Greek columns, remember that? And this is kind of like the Greek chorus in the background. Everything they do reminds us of Greece, and we're not going to Greece. Last night. I'm not kidding. I pulled out a speech that he gave in Denver. It's really a brilliant speech. He says marvelous things. He just hasn't done them. My guess is that a few weeks from now, he'll be speaking at the Bank of America Arena. He won't call it that. He'll be in Charlotte. And he probably won't put Greek columns up behind him. He won't want to remind us of that either. But he will have all sorts of promises to offer again. He'll tell you how much better things are now. But you know, this time, we have more than just the words. We have the record. Yeah. We understand the big gap there is between what he promises and what he hopes, what he actually delivers. And that's why this November, the people of Ohio are going to make sure we get a Republican in the White House. He said was that he measures progress differently than do people like us. Actually, as I listened to how he measures progress, I measure it the same way, so he was wrong on that. But he said, number one, he measures progress by whether people are able to get good jobs. But under this president, 23 million Americans are out of work or stop looking for work or can only get part-time jobs. It's a travesty. He said he would do one thing, he did another. We're going to put in place someone who actually knows how to get the job done.
We need Mitt!
I was able to get unemployment down to 4.7%. We're like 4.7%. Your governor's on the right track. You see, he's doing here in Ohio the exact things that have to be done to get small businesses to grow and thrive and big businesses to expand and hire more people. This is about more jobs and more take-home pay. It's not about rhetoric. It's about getting the job the American people need, and we will do just that. He also said he measured progress by whether incomes are going up or incomes are going down.
He lost that one.
Well, yeah, he lost that one too. Here's what's happened over the last 3.5 years. Just as Paul indicated, incomes in America for the average family have dropped by $4,000. With the median income in this nation of about $50,000, a $4,000 reduction is enormous. And think about costs for gasoline and utilities and food and health care. He also said, by the way, he'd bring down the cost of health insurance this year by $2,500 per family. Have you seen that? No! Now, as a matter of fact, the average family has seen health insurance prices go up by $2,500 a family. This is a president who says one thing and can't deliver. It's finally time to get a president who can do what he actually says he'll do. Out there is chanting 4 more years. Do you want 4 more years of high unemployment? Do you want 4 more years of declining wages? No! Do you want 4 more years of home values in the basement? No! 4 more years of the big banks getting bigger, the small banks getting smaller? No! Do you want 4 more years of Barack Obama?
No! B.O. must go!
You guys, we have a very different vision for this country. The reason the president's failed in doing what he said he'd do is because his basic and fundamental belief about America just doesn't square with the America you and I know. He doesn't understand what it is that makes America's economy so powerful, so dynamic, and so unique in the world. I've had the thrill over the last couple of years of going across the country and meeting people across America. Small businesses, big businesses. I met a woman who has her own upholstery company. I said, how'd you get in business? She said, well, my husband lost his job and he took a class in upholstering, and she, being the better business mind of the family, she started a company and hired him as her first employee. Then she went on to hire 40 more. Now she has a successful upholstering business. I met another woman just a couple of weeks ago rather, in High Point, North Carolina. She has North Carolina over there. She has a furniture business. Tough competing with China in furniture when they cheat on their currency as they do. And she had to try and find a way to save her company and save the jobs of the people that work there. She found a way. She makes a very special kind of furniture, hospital waiting room furniture. Now she dominates that. By focusing on something so narrow, she's been able to keep her business together and her employees together. By the way, just a word to the women entrepreneurs out there.
Yeah!
If we become president and vice president, we want to speak to you. We want to help you. Women in this country are more likely to start businesses than men. I saw another entrepreneur. This guy's name is Jim Leotow. Jim comes from Southern Illinois. Graduated second in his high school class. Second from the bottom, that is. He concluded that the college wasn't part of his future, but he convinced his dad to give him a loan, and they split the business. He'd start 50-50. He wanted to make food, a restaurant kind of business, and deliver it to people. So he went out to buy one of those hamburger grills and those rollers that make the hot dogs and the hood that takes out the smoke. Way more money than he had. The only thing he could do with the money he had was make sandwiches. So he set up some tables in a garage and made sandwiches and delivered the sandwiches to people at work. And now Jimmy John's has 1,500 restaurants and employs 60,000 people. You see, it's individuals like those, well, Melanie McNamara, she was the woman in High Point, North Carolina, and Jimmy John. It's people like that who take risks, who work hard, who start businesses, who hire other people. These individuals in this country, we celebrate them. We acknowledge their achievement. We love their success. We don't attack success in America, and we will never apologize for success abroad. But as Paul said, the president has a very different view. He fundamentally believes that government is the source of our great strength and economic vitality. Look, we value our government. We value the people who work in government, from the bus drivers to the police and teachers and people who even work in bureaucracies. They're essential to keep our country going. Don't forget, we pay for them as well, but we do value them. But we also recognize that what makes America unique is not just that we have a government with government workers and bureaucrats, but we have free people, and the job of government is to protect the freedoms of the people so they can build a brighter life for themselves and for their communities. When the founders wrote that Declaration of Independence and said that the Creator gave us our rights, they were both inspired and brilliant in my view, and those rights included life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. In this nation, people are free to pursue happiness as they choose. And so for hundreds of years, they've come here with dreams, hopes of building a better future for themselves and for their children. And some succeed brilliantly, like Jimmy John and Melanie McNamara. And others succeed in other ways. People succeed by working hard and getting a promotion at work and being able to save money for their kids' education. People succeed by working hard and getting on the honor roll as a kid. And let me tell you, if your child gets on the honor roll, works hard, studies, does well on the test, makes the honor roll, I know that to get to school, he or she had to get on a school bus. But when they make the honor roll, congratulate them. Don't say thanks to the bus driver. This is a nation that celebrates individual initiative, people seeking greatness, people who have dreams. Look around the world. It's here where the dreamers come. Not a lot of dreamers in North Korea, are they? The dreams they have there are just getting out. Not a lot of dreamers in Cuba. They wish they could come here with relatives in this country. This is the land that promotes dreams and the vision of individuals. And it is the freedom of individuals we will protect and reignite America's economy. I'm convinced that you're going to see, by virtue of our administration, this economy come roaring back. We're going to do that are really going to get this economy going. And I think you know what they are. Number one, we're going to take advantage of our energy, our oil, our coal. We're going to do what the president said he'd do, which is we're going to get America, North America, independent for energy within the next 10 years. America is going to be energy independent. We need to make sure that our workers have the skills they need to succeed and that our kids are given the skills that will allow them to succeed. It is inexcusable in the nation that invented public education to have our kids performing in the bottom quartile. The president just can't do what he knows he should do because his largest campaign contributor is the teachers' unions. If we are president and vice president, we will put the teachers and the kids first and the union behind. We're going to take advantage of trade and make trade work for America. We're productive. We can compete with anyone in the world successfully. I want to open up new markets, particularly in places like Latin America, where there's a growing middle class. It's a huge opportunity for us. We speak the language, we're in the same time zone. So we have opportunity there. But at the same time, I want to make sure that people in trade who cheat recognize there will be consequences. We won't stand for it. China has cheated. I'm going to put an end to it. Energy. Number two, the skills we need to succeed. Number three, trade. And number four, this is an important one as well. You're not going to have entrepreneurs risk all their savings and convince their family to invest in their business, nor are you going to have big multinational companies decide to build factories in Ohio or anywhere else in America if they think we're headed to Greece. And if we keep spending massively more than we take in, that is where we're headed. And therefore, if we're president and vice president, we will do everything in our power and accomplish this goal. We will cut federal spending, we will cap federal spending, and we'll finally get us on track to have a balanced budget. And there's one more. And that is, number five, champion small business.
Yes.
Help small business.
Yes.
Help entrepreneurs, help innovators. Big businesses are able to accommodate, in some cases, all the regulations that get thrown on them because they have all the lawyers and the scale. They can even sometimes handle the big tax rate, highest taxes in the world on corporations here, because they have businesses all over the world. Big companies like GE, as you saw, paid no tax a year or two ago. That's because of all the operations they have around the world. But if you're in a small business, if you're in a dry cleaning operation, or you're starting a taxi business, or you got a small software company, let me tell you, those regulations and those taxes are crushing this small business. The president wants to raise the tax on small business from 35% to 40%. By the time you pay the estate tax, which is just a little under 6%, and then you pay sales tax and gasoline tax and real estate tax. Well, you find out that the government is taking well more than half of what you make. And so people decide, well, I'm not going to begin my business. That's why we're at a 30-year low in this country for new business startups. I want to make sure that we help entrepreneurs and innovators. I want to speak to the women of America who have dreams, who begin businesses in their homes, who begin businesses out in the marketplace, who are working in various enterprises and companies. I want you to be successful. Our campaign is about making it easier for entrepreneurs, women and men, to start businesses, to grow businesses. We will champion small business because we know that's where our jobs come from. We know that if we get this economy going with energy that's abundant, by getting the skills people need, by opening up new trade and cracking down on cheaters, by finally getting us to a balanced budget and being a real champion of small business, America's going to surprise the world. We're going to stand out as a shining city on the hill. Paul began by saying this is a vote about the soul of America. What kind of an America are we going to have? We have laid out an America that's based upon the skill, the capacity, the dream of each individual, and a government that protects their rights and encourages them to be able to realize those dreams. That's our vision. The president's vision is one of a larger and larger government taking more and more and trying to provide more and more to you. It takes us on a road to Europe. Or worse, California. Just kidding about that. Sort of. Look, I don't want to become Europe. I want America to remain America. The home of the earth, the shining city on the hill. We know how to do that. We're going to bring it back. We know how critical it is. Look, this is important not just for us, for our generation. It's critical for our kids. We can't pass on trillions of dollars of debt to the coming generation for things we paid for ourselves. We can't do it. I know the president's going to go to that convention. He's going to have all sorts of marvelous things to say. I mean, I can almost read his speech now. It'll be filled with promises and tell people how wonderful things are. Of course, they'll have to contrast that with what they know they're experiencing. But as he lays out all these wonderful things he's going to do, people are going to stop and say, but how are you going to do something different than last time? They've experienced the last 4 years. They know if they re-elect him, they get 4 more years of the same. It is not his words that people have to listen to. It is his action and his record. And if they look at that, they'll take him out of the office and put people into the office and will actually get America back again. We've made our commitment to you.
Thank you.
With every source of our energy and passion in becoming president and vice president, we will endeavor to make America stronger.
God bless
We'll endeavor to protect our freedoms and our rights, to encourage the dreams of individuals. We'll do our very best with all of our energy to assure that America is stronger. Stronger in our homes, stronger in our values, stronger in our economy, stronger in our military. A military from America must be so strong, no one would ever think it's possible. I love this country. I love what it stands for. We are unique in the history of the earth because of our founding documents and our commitment to freedom. We're going to bring America back by reasserting and reaffirming and restoring those principles. We're not going to become Europe. We're going to stay America. We're going to remain the shining city on the hill. And Ohio is the